Hey you guys, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Chef Dean Max. Today we're gonna do something super simple. We're gonna cut some fruit, and actually just a pineapple. I've got this pineapple, it's been nicely ripened. I like to get them from the store when they're green and let them sit out on my counter until they start to get a little bit brown. Not too brown, you want this kind of orangish color, and that means they're really kind of ripened, which is nice, rather than having a green tasting pineapple, because pineapple can be very acidic when they're green like that. It depends, obviously if you're gonna do something like pickle them or do something different to them like that, maybe you want them greener, but I like them sweet for some of my dishes. So it's ready to cut. If you're not subscribing to me, subscribe, click up here and ring that bell. And give me a thumbs up if you like this video. So something really quick I wanted to show you at home. So I know a lot of people have problems like cutting simple things like fruit. So let's go get to it. I lay it down. So I want to cut the top of the fruit off here. And you know, some people will take that and set it in the ground, try to get this sprout. But I always throw it away if I were you. And then you can see how like nice and orange this pineapple is, right? Because I've let it sit and ripen a little bit on my countertop. I didn't, right when they're in the grocery store, they pick them so early because they have to travel and stuff, that the fruit's sometimes very bright green, even though that looks really pretty. It has more acidity and less sweetness. As it ripens, the sweetness develops a little bit and the acidity mellows out. So what I want to do now, shave down the side, and you're going to take off as little as you can without but also taking all of the little knobbies of the pineapple off. So you want to cut it down just gently like that and twist it, go little by little, right? All the way around. And you don't want any of these, you see these little brown kind of knobbies in there, you want to like cut those all off, and without taking off too much of the pineapple. So it's a kind of a nice balance between taking as much as you need to take, but not all of it. So with that, I'm going to just discard these and get these. Now, what I do is cut it straight down the center through the core like this, right? And I've got beautiful pineapple. Look at that, right? And now I've cut it in half. And the thing is, you see how I have like a little knobby right here? I could just cut that right off, right? And then I inspect it a little bit. If there's any brown or bruising or kind of pieces that aren't that nice, you can cut them out. But at this point, you always kind of want to cut fruit when it's flat like this. When things are round, they're harder to cut, right? So now that you've got it flat, you still have that core in the center. So in the center of the pineapple, you have that core that you always want to cut out. So to do that, I cut down right down the center of the pineapple here. So I do that also on this side. I'm going to move this over like this way a little, and I'll move this. Now you can see that core is right there, right? So that tough core, it's not very great to eat, but I like to snack around it. So for me, that's kind of fun. Kitchen snack. So I usually do that. Now, I've got my pineapple at this stage. If I'm doing this for a fruit plate, I want to, and I'll show you two different ways. So for a fruit plate, now you've got no core, right? And it's sitting on that flat piece that I cut off, right? So it's not moving around and it's sitting firm. I want to take this. Now, I can do this really fast, but I'm going to do it slow for you guys, okay? Just cutting it with the tip. Now, when you cut it with the tip of the knife, right? If you cut it with the meat of the knife pulls the pineapple away, and so it moves. But if you cut it with just the tip and you cut it quick, it still sometimes wants to grab it, right? But it has less grabbing ability because you're just using the tip, and it just keeps it in place. So you can cut through the pineapple like this without really the pineapple moving, and that's your goal. Because now that you've got it all flat and sitting like that, you can just kind of press it like this way and fan it out, right? You see that? And then I'm going to put my knife under it, and I'll go right to my plate, and I'll go on top of my plate, right? And then you've got beautiful pineapple sliced on the plate right now. And when you do those slices like that, that gives you like this perfect kind of slice to eat. When you cut it for a fruit plate, you don't want to cut it tiny, right? because you don't want people having to grab at something really small, whether they're using a fork or a toothpick or their fingers. You want to give them something a decent size. So let me go over that again. Cut the root out. We're cutting at an angle. See this? So I cut that at an angle. And it cuts this root out perfectly. Now, I'm going to flip it around and do the same thing. Just with the tip, right? I make all these little cuts. And I go slow and I make them even. And the reason that you want to make them even is because when you fan it like this, right, you get this really pretty, this pretty kind of fanning motion and action here. It gives you a really nice presentation with the pineapple. So then you can just scatter it out like that and the pineapple's ready to present. You can put strawberries on there and melons. I'll do some melon cutting as well. It's very similar to this. A lot of when you're cutting watermelons, all this kind of things, the same thing. You want to cut the ends, set it up, carve around it, then cut it flat, okay? Now, if you're cutting this for like some fried rice, you want to put it in there. You've got some chicken fried rice that you can do with some peanuts and some pineapple. It's really nice, and some chilies. You can cut it in long thin strips like this, right? Then come back and cut it the other way, right? And then you have this beautiful diced pineapple like this, right? Look how nice that looks. So I'll just stick that right on the ends here, okay? You can see beautiful pineapple for a stir fry, okay? And for the grill, I mean, this is actually a great piece for the grill. Sometimes I'll do it this way for the grill. I'll take it in half now, and I'll lay it flat. Be very careful to not, obviously cut yourself, but you want to do flat pieces like this. So I'll take these flat pieces, and I'll leave these big ones and coat these with olive oil, salt and pepper, and just grill mark those on the grill. Get some really char on top of that sweetness of the pineapple. It's really nice. So you can see here, we've got beautiful pineapple, right? With no kind of, none of those rough bits of the outside of the pineapple on it. We've got both the diced version, presentation version for a fruit plate, and then we've got also some thin slices here that we could do while we grill. So I hope this helps you a little bit at home, and I'll have more videos like this. So stay tuned, and I'll see you back in the kitchen soon. I'm Chef Dean Max.